Barnaikar. Okay, now let me get you principal, the first woman principal of Science School Bijapur. It has always been all boys school, all men heading the school. For the first time, we have two women, two smart women. One is the principal, another one is the vice principal. Madams, both can you say hello to our chief guest, Dr. Lalit Kanodia.
Sir, good evening. And it is a pleasure to be a part of this knowledge forum.
Thank you, ma'am.
It is our honor to be there with us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, I think we are now, I don't see any other seniors here on the screen. Okay, so I think that as they come, we'll get to know. So I think now, Vivek, I get the, give you back the mic. You can start.
Thank you, sir. I think it's dot 1800 hours time. Good evening, Ajeets, students, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to one of the most sought events across all demographic segments globally. I'm sure today's session will breach your intellect level and broaden your horizon. Hence, please tighten your belt for a memorable journey. I, Lieutenant Commander Dr. Vivekanand Bankoli, roll number 1722, pass out batch 1990. I'm privileged to host you all for this momentous event. I'm therefore grateful to AKF for providing me this opportunity. Okay. Today's others can go on mute, please. Today's event shall become the golden chapter of military techno-corporate management Bibles. This is the 6th session of Ajeets Knowledge Forum, wherein I'll be hosting one of our founder fathers who can be called the Bhishma Pitama of the IT industry. I would say that Indian IT industry, but also global industry, global IT industry, Dr. Lalit Kanodia. To begin the proceedings, I would like to request Shri Prakash Ayavai, roll number 342, pass out of 1975 batch, an educationist and former controller of examination with Maharashtra State Government, who is also officiating chairman of AKF, to initiate the event by extending the welcome address. Sir, over to you. Prakash?
Prakash may be having technical problem. Akshay, can you take over?
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the officiating chairman of Ajeet Knowledge Forum, Shri Prakash Saigami, it is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to each one of you this evening. Formally called the Ajeet Knowledge Forum, on behalf of the entire organizing committee, I welcome all our gurus, Ajeet seniors, contemporaries, juniors, family and friends of Ajeets, staff and students from Sainik School Bijapur, Sainik School Kodagu in Karnataka, as well as Sainik School Satara, staff and students from various technical and management institutions, and from the schools managed by Ajeets across the state. For the information of the first-time joiners amongst our audience, Ajeet Alumni Association is an old boys association of Sainik School Bijapur in Karnataka. It was established by the government of India in 1963 for providing a career in the armed forces and to develop qualities of body, mind, and character, which will enable the young boys of today to become good and useful citizens of tomorrow. The school that started in 1963 is going strong with young lady cadets joining the school this academic year, and nonetheless with a lady defense officer at the helm. Of course, there is nothing in a caterpillar that tells you it's going to be a butterfly, said Buckminster Fuller. Kudos and all the best. The Ajeet Alumni Association has presently two wings, that is the Ajeet Knowledge Forum and the Ajeet Entrepreneurs Forum, to which we shall soon be likely adding Ajeet Philanthropy Forum, and so on. Friends, Marian Wright Edelman rightly said, education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. In its quest to get better, deliver the best, benefit the needy, and give back to the benefactor, we at the Ajeet Knowledge Forum, fondly called AKF, have been, since August 2021, conducting live interactive talk sessions of eminent personalities belonging to various fields, be it from aviation, entrepreneurship, science and research, medicine, palliative care, world of cinema, space, etc. This is the 6th such occasion that we are gathered today, this evening. It's a part of our strong social obligation that we owe, which has brought us together. And I assure you that this evening is going to be a very memorable one having set very high standards for ourselves. We are fortunate to have amidst us today a very senior, multifaceted technological luminary who shall be addressing and interacting with us. And friends, please await his introduction, scheduled to start a little while from now. I, however, take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed speaker, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, Chairman, Datamatics Group of Companies. Welcome, sir. For me, on behalf of Prakash Saigami, sir, having served the Technical Education Department of the Government of Maharashtra at Mumbai, it's a matter of great curiosity to listen and learn from our honorable speaker of today on the topic of his choice. We are also blooming with pleasure and pride today to welcome two special guests, Lieutenant General B.S. Raju, Vice Chief of the Army Staff, as well as Vice Admiral Makrand Hampiholi, Flag Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Southern Naval Command, Indian Navy. The two of them are the alumni of Sainik School Bijapur and also happen to be batchmates. Without taking much of your valuable time, I conclude saying evenings are your chance to forget the mistakes you made during the day. So for the sweetest of dreams, you can pave the way. Thank you and welcome you all. Back to you, Vivekanand, sir.
Thank you, Akshay. But just one more thing which I wanted to add was, we have with us Lieutenant Colonel Manisha Dabas, Vice Principal of Sainik School Satara. That's for our information. And to pay respect to our alma mater, I would request Umesh, our Technical Director, to play our school song. Over to you, Umesh.
Sure, sir.
Our school is a nice and wonderful place where we are taught one and all to run life's race. Bright may be the light and great be its fame. Forever it may shine and long live its name. There's a grand school at Bijapura, ever flying Ajeets Lt true. Be they vadeyara Hoysala Chalukya, Adilshai Vijayanagar Rashtrakuta too. We read and play in the fields. We strive to see and never to feel. It's a fond desire and everyone's wish to be a bit and to accomplish. There's a grand school at Bijapura, ever flying Ajeets Lt true. Be they vadeyara Hoysala Chalukya, Adilshai Vijayanagar Rashtrakuta too. अजीत है अभीत है अजीत है अभीत है.
Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Umesh. That was nostalgic and reminded us of our main aim of our school, that is to serve Indian Armed Forces. We are honored to have two of our distinguished Ajeets who aimed and hit the bullseye by joining NDA. VCOS, that is Lieutenant General B.S. Raju, and FOCNC, Southern Naval Command, Vice Admiral M.A. Hampiholi for today's event. Both of them are holding SSBJ's flag high on the land and sea, thus echoing our motto, Ajeet hai, Abheet hai. Now I would like to call upon Major Nagaraj Maityal, again Ajeet, roll number 3285, pass out batch 2005, and commissioned into Jat Regiment of Indian Army in 2009 to introduce our senior Ajeet Lieutenant General Raju, resonating the regiment motto, Jat Balwan, Jai Bhagwan. Over to you, Major.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank my alma mater for giving me this opportunity, and it's honor and privilege for me to introduce Lieutenant General B.S. Raju, Uttam Yuddha Seva Medal, Ati Visishta Seva Medal, Yuddha Seva Medal, Vice Chief of Army Staff. Lieutenant General B.S. Raju was born on 19th October 1963 to Srimati Vimla and Sri Somshekarappa Raju in Devangere district, in a family which traces its origin to Bagavalli village near Ajampura in Chikmagalur district. He is an alumnus of Sainik School Bijapur, having passed out in 1979, joined National Defence Academy Kadakwasla to graduate in 1983, and further joined Indian Military Academy Dehradun and later commissioned into Jat Regiment of the Indian Army on 15 December 1984. The general officer has attended all important career courses in India to include Defence Service Staff College, Wellington, and has a privilege of doing his National Defence College at Royal College of Defence Studies, UK. He has also attended Distinguished Matters program in counter-terrorism at Naval Postgraduate School, USA. The general officer, during his illustrious career, spanning over 38 years, served across a wide spectrum of conflicts and terrain. The general officer is a qualified helicopter pilot, having done operationally flying in Somalia as part of United Nations mission. He commanded an infantry battalion during Op Parakram in Western Theatre and on line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. He also holds a distinction of commanding the brigade along line of control, counter-insurgency force and corps in Kashmir. The general officer was also commandant Indian military training team in Bhutan. The general officer staff and instructional appointments include instructional tenure at Defence Service Staff College, Wellington, High Command Wing, Army War College, Mao. Critical staff appointments include Brigade Major in an Infantry Brigade, Colonel MS Legal in Army Headquarters, Brigadier General Staff of an Operationally Active Corps, Deputy Director General Military Operations, and Director General Staff Duties in Army Headquarters. Prior to taking over as the Vice Chief of Army Staff, the General Officer was tenating the appointment of Director General Military Operations in Army Headquarters. The General Officer is also Colonel of the Jat Regiment. For his illustrious contribution to the service, the General Officer has been awarded Uttam Yuddha Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Yuddha Seva Medal, and GOCNC Commendation Card. The General Officer is married to Mrs. Shakuntala. They have a daughter, Purvi, and a son, Shekhar, who are both engineers. At the end, I would like to thank Ajeets Knowledge Forum for giving me this opportunity to talk about the inspiring personality who is a role model for me personally. Thank you, team. Ajeets Knowledge Forum. Back to Vivek, sir.
Thank you, Major Nagaraj, for introducing seasoned Jat. Now I invite Lieutenant General Raju, sir, to deliver his thoughts. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening to all our elders, teachers, parents, and most importantly, our students across the state. My special good evening to the principal and the staff in Sainik School, Bijapur. I understand the vice principal in Satara is also online. Thank you for taking your time off. And of course, very big thank you to Nagaraj for the warm introduction. To begin with, I would like to again thank the architects of the Ajeets Knowledge Forum, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, the president of the Ajeet Alumni Association, Mr. Gopal Hasur, and other senior functionaries for this extraordinary and unique initiative, which puts the acquisition of knowledge on this high pedestal. Our gratitude to Dr. Lalit Kanodia for sparing his time, and of course to my friend and classmate, Admiral Hampiholi, who will now be joining us probably in an offline mode through a video, who is the Flag Officer Commanding in Chief, Southern Naval Command. And here I would like to say that he is the first officer from our school to reach the Flag Officer or the Army Commander rank. Congratulations, Makran. I'm also happy to know that a large number of students from many schools around the state have joined, and I hope this forum will not disappoint you. This forum is lucky to be addressed by a large number of luminaries who have done this job with great elan. And I can tell the audience here that I have personally attended 2 of them and have immensely benefited. And I'm very confident that this forum will continue to grow and make a difference in all our lives. Today, I wish to express my gratitude to the forum for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on my little journey to this rank and place, and also speak a little bit on education, IT, and its impact on our nation. The challenge I realize is to do all this in 10 minutes, and I hope to do it. To begin with, I must thank my teachers and staff of my school, Sainik School, Bijapur, for the strong foundation they laid for me. Having said that, I also believe that real education really starts at home. To all the young parents and teachers who are listening, you have an important role in showing your children, your kids, the broad direction to go. The little things that you do and say matter. I I would like to say that discipline and dignity of labor are so important to make any progress in life, and these are often inculcated at home. Small things like cleaning up one's room or washing his dishes after a meal can mold him for bigger things to come. Early on, it is important to multi-skill him or her. Here, I must confess that my mother taught me to stitch, to broom, to clean up and do basic cooking. Along the way, I learned carpentry, leathercraft, and many other skills at school and at NDA. I wish to thank my parents for all the guidance. To me, the need to skill, upskill, and gain knowledge continues as I speak. In fact, it is vital to survive in today's world, to move forward, and more importantly, for innovating. Few of the factors which have helped me reach here are an ability to take risk, if I can say, having a positive attitude. And of course, some initiative always helps. We must consider every adversity that we come across, which we all will encounter in life, as an opportunity. While it is true that this is easier said than done, but I urge you to take this path. Next, two other factors which will take you up the ladder are passion and enthusiasm. They will set you apart from others. You will always be recognized and rewarded. In fact, I fondly recollect two quotes which my senior officers always reminded me about. One was from General Atta Hasnain. He spoke about fire in the belly and passion in the heart. He used to insist that this is vital to bring any change. And this he adopted while he was commanding the corps in Srinagar. Second, of course, was from our own Ajeet, General Om Prakash, who was incidentally my corps commander when I was the brigade commander, who popularized our school motto of Ajeet Lt across all the formations in Kashmir. Even today, when you go around Kashmir, you will get to see a lot of these slogans written on the mountain faces, on hilltops, and it really enthuses us. In fact, this slogan completely aligns with our needs in the defense services. You have to be fearless and always victorious. Very briefly on change management, to me, again, this is an important aspect. Gentlemen, change is evident everywhere, whether the way we are traveling, the way we are talking, the way data transfer is taking place, the way we are acquiring knowledge, the way money transactions are going on. It will not be wrong to say that we are changing at probably the fastest pace in history. Most importantly, today the government is amenable to change. This is big, and I can feel it here at the highest level, how things are changing, and more things are to come as we speak. That itself is a huge opportunity for all of us. Now the challenge is to recognize it and grab it. I would say even more important is our ability to train to recognize opportunities early on. For that, you have to have an inquisitive and a hungry mind. When you see, startups getting born with an idea and then he becoming a millionaire, you often think, where did I miss? How did I miss that opportunity, which I had always seen it? Gentlemen, the difference between you and him is his ability to have recognized it early, of seeing an opportunity in it, having invested his time and his little money, but a ton of effort and risk to become that one man who became successful. So please follow that path. Take the risk. I recollect a question being asked as to how MIT in the United States comes out with so many innovations. Somewhere along, I learned that the answer was they put an engineer, an artist, a footballer, a writer, and maybe a dancer in a room and shake them up. And out comes an innovation. What I have said seems simplistic in its articulation, but what it conveys is you need multiple skills, unique approaches, different worldview to arrive at products or solutions which have never existed. It is time we create this ecosystem in the country. I see new private universities offering a mix of disciplines under one roof. In fact, it is time for our IITs and bigger universities to offer a larger number of courses under one roof. Gentlemen, today there is an explosion in the job industry. There is place for everybody. You can be an actor, a journalist, a dancer, an athlete, or anything else. Now, having taken this path, you can still find a place under the system. That is the opportunity that has opened up. In fact, this may not have been true just around a decade or two back. And the parents need to realize this and adapt. and accommodate the aspirations of the children, because we need all of them to grow as a nation. Very briefly, I will speak about education, technology, and economic development. To me, they're all so connected. And both technology and education are force multipliers in the economic growth. Investing in education is basically investing in our youth, who are the future of our country. A whole new generation of well-educated youth in the workforce will spark innovation and can literally change the face of India. Similarly, technology is a force multiplier of the human capital. They're all working towards each other. And technology has also been the key driver in the dramatic increase in productivity in most developed countries. I mean, you look at any of the countries like US, Japan, Germany, Korea, and so many other countries. Just remember that an educated individual armed with innovative technology is a powerful equation for the nation's growth. Another interesting phenomena that has occurred is that education has been democratized, if I can say. What I mean is, today, a person with a computer and an access to internet is all that he requires to gain access to high quality educational content on any topic from the best professors in the world. There are terabytes of wisdom residing in the cloud. And complementing this today for India is the low cost of data. And when you put availability of information and easy accessibility, it's a game-changing phenomena that is occurring. The only barrier is your will to learn. Like YouTube can teach you anything. I mean, you want to repair a faucet, you have it. You want to learn about astrophysics, you have it. My son today, who is in the US, tells me that IT companies in the US have begun hiring non-graduate IT personnel. So a formal degree may itself lose relevance, because they realize that today man doesn't have to go to a college and acquire formal degree to deliver the products that is expected to deliver at his workplace. Having said that, by no stretch of imagination am I saying that formal classroom education is bad, but its absence, remember, its absence will not put you at a disadvantage. That is the unique phenomena that is occurring. As I speak, technology is transforming multiple sectors necessary for nation building, whether it is in education, governance, military, healthcare, and whatnot. In fact, disruption is occurring in every corner. And today, India ranks probably third in the overall unicorns created, only behind United States and China. In fact, innovations like Aadhaar, you're aware, have simplified subsidies, saving the government a ton of money. You have the unified payment interface, which has revolutionized the way we transact money. And there are a lot of other examples. Today, you have huge opportunities in defense industry. I, sitting as vice chief, I'm responsible for a whole lot of procurements and also to encourage innovation. With Atmanirbharta or indigenization as the mantra, we need the best people working on defense technologies. And I can tell you that there are huge opportunities here. And if there are any Ajeets who are looking at opportunities, please come forward with your ideas and we can see how to take them forward. I can see that I'm generally running out of time. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, there is knowledge and distraction everywhere. The challenge for our students, and in fact, all of us, is our capacity to discern and choose and go in the right direction. This is where our parents and teachers will play a big role. Their words of advice and wisdom will shape and guide the future of our country. With these words, I end and wish to thank the audience for your time and patience. Thank you again, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, for this opportunity. Thank you all the other listeners. Jai Hind and God bless.
Thank you, sir, for that inspirational address and motivating our team for startups and incubators and going ahead of China as well as US. Which I'm sure will motivate our young Ajeets and other students who have joined us today here. And they will also try to emulate your path. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
As General Raju was securing our terrestrial region, his buddy batchmate, Vice Admiral Hampiholi, was safeguarding the seaward frontier. Who is our next speaker? Unfortunately, he is not available today. So I'll just request first Lieutenant Commander Zakir Jamkandi, roll number 3328, school pass out 2005 and serving in Indian Navy, as engineer in 2009 to introduce Vice Admiral Hampiholi, sir, with the prayers of Shana Varna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm filled with pride and honor. Thanks to AKF for giving me this occasion to introduce Vice Admiral Makrand Hampiholi, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Navasena Medal, who is the 29th Flag Officer Commanding Chief of Southern Naval Command. The Admiral is a native of Dharwad in Karnataka and come from a respected family. His father, Arvind Hampiholi, had served in Indian Army and later in the Commercial Tax Department, while mother Sangeeta Hampiholi was a renowned singer and radio artist in All India Radio, Dharwad. He is an alumnus of prestigious Sainik School, Bijapur. He joined school in 1973 and then through sheer preservation, he joined National Defence Academy, Khadakwasla, and graduated in 1983. He was awarded President's Gold Medal at National Defence Academy for standing first in overall order of merit. He was commissioned into Executive Branch of Indian Navy on 1st July 1985. The Admiral is also alumnus of Defence Service Staff College, Wellington, Naval War College, Goa. He has also attended prestigious National Defence College at New Delhi. The Admiral is an anti-submarine warfare specialist and has commanded 3 Indian naval ships, INS Nashak, INS Magar, and INS Talwar. Some of his shore assignments include Commandant of National Coast Guard Mauritius, Commandant of Indian Naval Academy, Admiral, Commanding Officer, INS Mandovi, Goa. He has the rare distinction of commanding Naval Academy twice at different locations and in different ranks. Admiral also has served in various capacities: Staff Officer at Local Workup Team, Joint Director at Directorate of Personnel at Naval Headquarters, Naval Advisor to FOCNC Eastern Naval Command, Senior Directing Staff at Naval War College, Mumbai, and Principal Director Staff Requirements at Naval Headquarters. He has also commanded the Western Fleet as a Flag Officer commanding Western Fleet. The Admiral is highly recorded officer of the Indian Navy. For his illustrious contribution to service, the Admiral has been awarded the highest award of Indian Navy, Navasena Medal, for his devotion to duty, and Ati Vishisht Seva Medal. Admiral has a charismatic personality that enthralls his listeners with his effortless voice and charm. His confident leadership has inspired present generation of young naval officers. With that note, I again thank AKF for considering me to these honors, and I end by saying that the Indian Navy is much more than a job, much more than a service to the country. It is a way of life. It gets in your blood. Thank you, sir. Over to Vivekanand, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander Zakir Jamkhandi. As you all know, and we always say, Ajeet hai, Abhi hai, and sir has shown that the call of duty comes first. That is the reason sir is not able to join us today. Notwithstanding that, in a very short time, he sent us a video message for us. I request Umesh to play the same. Umesh, for you.
Sure, sir.
It's a matter of immense honor and privilege to send this message across to the proud parents, revered teachers, and the able administrative staff of my alma mater, Sainik School, Bijapur. Whilst I cannot take the liberty to speak on behalf of my batchmates, when we spent some of the most memorable times and our formative and impressionable years between 1973 to 1981, I'm sure that my batchmates, including Lieutenant General B.S. Raju, the Vice Chief of Army Staff, whose video is also being aired, will wholeheartedly agree with my thoughts that I'm about to advocate. Our profound memories belong to the days that we spent at the school when we played, laughed, and studied together. We even cried, fought, and competed with one another. This, along with competitive sports, declamation, debates, and fine arts, instilled in us the team spirit, brotherhood, and esprit de corps. It were in the fine portals of the school that we were transformed into young, responsible boys from our various backgrounds as naive children. It was a beautiful journey from innocence to maturity. It was also in the school where we understood that success comes through persistence and commitment. We may not have enjoyed every moment, but we learned from every moment that we spent at the school. It was in this splendid journey that we were guided, mentored, and led by our respectful teachers who saw it their sacred duty to educate us and fit us by intelligence and virtue for the inheritance that awaited us. My batchmates have been successful in their respective vocations that they chose, be it engineering, medicine, architecture, education, entrepreneurship, business, and the like. We owe our success to the strong foundation of character, discipline, and education at the school, which was only possible because of our dedicated teachers of the school. Since I mentioned about success, I would like you all to understand as to what constitutes success. The root of many a problem lies in the inadequate understanding of what constitutes success. Is success a measure of awards and recognitions that we obtain? Is our success a measure of the financial prosperity that we attain? Or does it lie in the popular acclaim that we receive from our families and friends? Perhaps it is all of these things, but also something more profound and important. So how do we define success? We cannot influence the outcome of events since we have no control of our actions. So a good formula for success is simply, I will do my duty sincerely and to the best of my abilities, regardless of the outcome of my actions. This is in keeping with what the Bhagavad Gita tells us, that we do our duty without caring for its outcomes. Besides being a good professional, it is equally important that we need to be good human beings, a good friend, son, or a daughter, and subsequently a good parent and a responsible citizen. So, how does the future augur for you all? In my opinion, with the resurgence of the Indian economy, India will, in a few years from now, be amongst the foremost centers of power in the world, whose economic strength and technological prowess would be underpinned by the skills, abilities, and education of its young men and women. Emerging challenges are those that will affect our economy, agriculture, health, and environment. These manifest as risks to our natural resources, including food and water, financial markets, information systems, pandemics, climate change, and so on. Tackling these risks is a complex and a multi-dimensional challenge in times to come, and will require outstanding competence, teamwork, and above all, an unfailing commitment. My batchmates, seniors, and juniors alike, behold in you the self-assurance of an emerging India. You will be drivers of our nation as future leaders. We have implicit faith in the understanding that you all will redeem the trust placed in each and every one of you by your parents, teachers, and all Ajeets alike. Thank you. Ajeet hai, Abhiit hai. Jai Hind.
Aye, sir. Like your buddy, you have also inspired our Ajeets and other students to follow your footsteps and serve the motherland. Also, you reminded us the chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. That's very necessary for all of us. Thank you very much again. Now we have come to the momentous occasion to listen to our distinguished guest, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, sir. Dr. Lalit Kanodia, sir, is a corporate global legend who incubated the modern IT into our country with chain reaction into IT global hub, that is for India. An icon who practices Narvottam Deo Bhava, that means humanity Deo Bhava, which is coined recently. And his personality is embedded with humbleness, transformational leadership traits, which will help for transforming all other leaders, and the intelligence which beats the artificial intelligence itself. Oxford Dictionary does not have the words to explain him holistically. Nevertheless, our Ajeet Jagdish, roll number 2210, pass out of 1995, a software engineer who was inspired by Dr. Kanodia sir himself, has set up his own consultancy firm. I request him to introduce our honorable speaker. Over to you, Jagdish.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. The modern world of knowledge society is shaped by some of the most brilliant minds whose discoveries and inventions of products and services, especially in the digital technology, has ushered us into this era, which is shaped by the information technology led by the technological marvel, the internet. Internet is inextricably woven into the very fabric of our day-to-day lives. This evening, AKF is privileged to host one of the key architects of Indian IT industry, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, sir, Chairman and Chief Mentor of Datamatics Group of Companies. It was in the always bustling city of Kolkata during the pre-independence era in 1941 was born our today's speaker, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, to Srimati Chandravati and Sri Surajmal Kanodia, a homemaker and a bullion merchant respectively. Dr. Lalit is the eldest in the family with 5 brothers and 1 sister. Surprisingly, defying all odds to enter into the parental business, all the 6 brothers graduated from the most prestigious institution in the country, IIT Bombay. Proud moment, sir. Dr. Lalit Kanodia is married to Mrs. Asha Kanodia and has 4 children, with both sons having joined the family's technological business. Dr. Kanodia had a brilliant academic career. He had his schooling at Bombay Scottish School at Mahim, which is still today one of the elite schools in Mumbai. He was ranked the best student at the high school for 3 years and also captained the school football team. He also topped while studying science at the Elphinstone College, Bombay University. He then joined the prestigious IIT Bombay, where he studied mechanical engineering. After graduating in 1963, Dr. Lalit secured admission to MIT Cambridge, where he completed his MS in management in 1965 with the highest grade and doctorate in management in 1967. Incidentally, he has also played a role in Project MAC, a research project of MIT. As a member of the Project MAC, he helped build a compatible time-sharing system in Multics, the first 2 multi-user computer operating system and precursor to Unix. He was one among many brilliant engineers in Project MAC, who laid the foundation for development of remarkable technologies like ARPA and DARPA, that is Defense Advanced Products Research Agency, founded by JCR Licklider from USA. This project later grew to become the internet that is driving our connected world today. Dr. Kanodia has also been a brilliant teacher. While at MIT, he taught a course on statistical decision theory to MBA students. Later in India too, he taught business management for 2 years at the Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, Bombay University. It was in 1965, Mr. J.R.D. Tata, the then chairman of Tata Group, who was contemplating to start a software company, chanced upon the CV of Dr. Kanodia, who had returned to India from US. Impressed by his CV, J.R.D. Tata invited him and tasked him to study the feasibility of computerization within the Tata Group. Dr. Kanodia, after studying the feasibility, wrote 3 papers for the Tata Group, which led to the automation of the load dispatch system of the Tata Electric companies by Westinghouse and computerization of the electricity billing system of the company. Dr. Kanodia was coaxed to return to India to form and head the software development center for the Tata Group. The result was the formation of the company called Tata Computer Center in 1967, which later grew in Himalayan proportion to become the Tata Consultancy Services, which we call TCS. And Dr. Lalit Kanodia became its founding CEO. He later handed over the charges of TCS to the legendary FC Kohli. Dr. Kanodia established the Datamatics company in 1975. Datamatics crafted an extraordinary way forward for many Indian IT companies, including the BPO industry. Datamatics company started with a modest team of 10 employees 42 years ago, has now grown to become a very large listed company with more than 10,000 strong employees. The company has several Fortune 500 companies as their clients and major business coming from US and Europe. In 1979, he set up the first dedicated offshore development center for Wang Laboratories. He also established the first satellite link for software development in India between its software development center in Mumbai and AT&T Bell Labs, USA in 1991. This led to the foundation of BPO services in India. and Dr. Kanodia formally started another company, Datamatics Technologies Limited, with 100% focus on BPO and KPO services. The start of the BPO services helped Datamatics spread its wings globally, and it acquired SaaStech and Corpay, two US-based companies in 1997 and 2003 respectively. Since then, Datamatics has acquired several other companies globally to enhance its offerings and footprints across the globe. He has held several important positions, including the position of National President of the Indo-American Chambers of Commerce, Vice President of the Indian Merchants Chambers, and President of the Management Consultants Association of India. Dr. Kanodia is currently the Chairman and Chief Mentor of Datamatics Group of Companies and drives all innovations, new product development, and quality initiatives. His inspirational leadership has led Datamatics and to Dr. Lalit to be conferred with various awards over the years, such as Most Innovative Software Product from the Prime Minister of India, the International Asia Pacific Entrepreneur Award, Global Achievers Award for Business Excellence, Indian of the Year for the IT Consultancy BPO Services, Special Achievement Award at Asia Pacific Internship. The list is endless. On behalf of AAA and Ajeets Knowledge Forum, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Kanodia sir, whose inspirational lecture, I'm certain, will definitely inspire young Ajeets to tread his path to bring in greater benefits to themselves, their families, and to the motherland. Back to Vivekanand sir, please.
Thank you, Jagdish. I know it was very difficult for you to condense it within that much. Otherwise, one day, full day would have been introduction itself. Okay. So, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, sir, the audience is eagerly waiting for you to hear from you. Over to you, sir.
Well, thank you very much for the extended introduction. Since I did not, or my secretary did not send this to you, somebody in your team must have done a lot of research on the internet. And a lot of things that I was surprised to hear the extended introduction. I'm delighted to be talking to all of you today. I'm delighted that we have in the audience Mr. Ashok Dalwai, Lieutenant General Raju, and through remote Vice Admiral Hampiholi, faculty of the schools, students, and the entire Ajeet fraternity. I have a very soft corner for these services, I must tell you that. And I was delighted to receive the invitation. We are a business family and a family of professionals, doctors, lawyers, things like that. But you may be surprised to know that in our extended family, one of our relatives became a General Hira. So I was very happy to invite you to address this very distinguished audience. I can see the military precision in today's function also. That's what the services teaches you, to be precise and to be absolutely committed to what you do. The topic of my speech today is the role of education and information technology in India's economic development. I would like you to know that I am very passionate about the economic development of India. And I came back to India with that particular objective, that somehow I'll make a contribution to India's economic development, which is now finally, I think, taking shape. I'd like to point out to you that India has had a glorious past that we all should be very justly proud of. A recent survey by UNICEF, yes, showed that there are 46 ancient civilizations, and the only ancient living civilization today that is still there is the Indian civilization. So we live in a country that we should be extremely proud of, and I'm sure this country will more than prove itself in the days to come. I would like to start off by painting a very broad picture of the Indian economy. Some of you may be surprised to know that India was perhaps the largest economy in the world in 1780, where India had 24% of the world GDP, which is where the United States of America is today. The US has about 24% of the world GDP, and we had about 24% in 1780. Unfortunately, for the last 1,000-odd years, we've had a variety of problems which we can really talk about. Muslim invaders initially looted India, starting from Muhammad Ghazni in 1101, Muhammad Ghori in 1175. But most of the later day invaders, such as Tipu Sultan and others, settled in India, and they did not take away its wealth. The Mughals also settled and lived in India starting from 1526. India's economic decline from the 24% of the world GDP that it enjoyed to below 3% really started with the British rule starting 1780. According to a recent Columbia University study, the British took away about $43 trillion from India during the rule of a little about 200 years. And consequently, the share of world GDP of India reduced from about 24% to below 3% between 1780 and 1947. As most of you know, the world GDP in the current year 2022, is forecast for the first time to be in excess of $100 trillion. And India's share of this economy is expected to be between 3.3 and 3.5 trillion dollars, which is 3.2 or 3.3% of the world GDP. This is despite the fact that 1 out of 5 citizens of planet Earth is an Indian. So if we have 20% of the world population, even if we are the average, we should have 20% of the world GDP. So I think we have a long, long way to go ahead of us, and we have a huge challenge going ahead. But I can see in our distinguished audience, people like Lieutenant General Raju and all of the other wonderful people that are there in this audience, that you're all more than up to the task. And I have no doubt whatsoever that we will travel the road and once get back to the glory that we deserve through the hard work and the intelligent population that we have. The good news is that in 21-22, the last financial year, our economy grew by 8.7%. Now that's a good number, and that is the fastest growing large economy in the world. It's something which all of us should pat ourselves on the back for. India and China had about the same GDP when we became independent in 1947. Today, GDP of India, as again all of you know, is around $16.7 trillion, which is 5 times that of India. They've done a wonderful job, and we have a long way ahead of us. We will catch up. We will even exceed that, thanks to the wonderful people that we have, including members of this audience. Forget China. Even if you look at the other developing economies, we have not done very well. India's per capita income today is about $2,500 per year. Thailand, our neighbor, 7,300. Sri Lanka is having problems right now. But despite that, its per capita income is $3,700 per year. In contrast, I repeat, to our 2,500. And they've had 26 years of civil unrest. Despite that, they have progressed. Vietnam had 20 years of war, but the per capita income is again $3,500. China, of course, is in excess of $10,000 per person per year. I'm giving these figures so that all of you are challenged. We can reach a goal only if we have a challenge. And we are definitely challenged. We have the ability, we have the capability, we have the talent in the country, We have all the natural resources. So I have no doubt whatsoever that we will get to the goal set by our Prime Minister to get to the very top. I'd like to tell you that the government of any country has the sacred, I use the word sacred objective, of improving the welfare of its citizens by increasing the per capita income. Of course, they have the responsibility of defense. I'm talking to defense people today. Education, welfare, law and order, a whole list of things that they have to do. But on top of the heap, number one priority should be the economic welfare of its citizens. Therefore, I think the government, and this government I think is doing that right now, has the sacred responsibility of raising the per capita income of one and all, right from the top to the very bottom. I don't want to be critical about a well-meaning leader, but quite clearly, they have not done well on the economic front. And there are lessons to be learned from our past mistakes. I repeatedly tell my children, and whenever I speak, that the biggest teacher, the greatest teacher is history. It teaches so many things over thousands of years. What are the mistakes? Can we look at history and write down what are the mistakes that we made and why could we not develop at the speed of so many other developing countries? As all of you know, we always seek professional advice. When we are sick, we go to a doctor. We have a legal problem, we go to a lawyer. When we are fighting a war, we talk to a general. Illustration is Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. I think we won the Bangladesh war despite all the odds, thanks to Sam Manekshaw and the leadership that he provided, where we won the war hands down. Now, when you come to economic development, similarly, we need a professional. Economic development is too serious a business to leave to the politicians. Unfortunately, our initial government relied on a statistician, to my great surprise, Professor Malanobis, who was director of the ISI. The ISI is a great institution in Calcutta, one of the most respected institutes of statistics. But he was not an economist. So he tried to implement the Leontief matrix when he was there, and the results were disastrous. And as a consequence of that, the Indian economy grew below 3% from 1947 to 1981. We had thought, we had imagined that now that we have become independent, we would grow automatically. It's not automatic. Economic growth is a result of planning, of positive action in the right manner. And you can see the contrast. At its peak, China grew 1 year at 14%. I repeat, 14%. Look at others. Look at Japan. Look at Germany. They were devastated in the war. But despite the fact that they were devastated, if we look at it today, Germany and Japan are on top. One is the third largest economy, and the other one is the fourth largest economy in the world. Now I think we're on the right track. I reiterate that last year we grew faster than every other economy, large economy. And there's no reason why we cannot get back to the position that we rightly deserve. What are the other mistakes we made? We did not initiate policies which would accelerate exports. We did not give impetus to our export zones. Finally, fortunately, our exports in April 22, 1 month, April 22, are estimated at $68 billion, which will result in export of about $800 billion in this year. That's a remarkable change. And this will give an economic impetus to our growth. It will happen. And if you see all high growth economies, they all have high exports. Example, Germany. Example, Japan. Example, Taiwan. Example, South Korea. Example, China. They have all relied on exports for their economic growth. So we need to look at exports as something which serves our purpose and will make us grow very rapidly. It also makes us compete against the best. And as you know more than I do, when you compete against the best, it brings out the best in you. So we need to push export as hard as we can. Now, all of us know that Indians save more than most other nations. Even the beggar in India saves money. The poorest of the poor saves money. But that is our national ethos. And savings always accelerate growth. Because when you have savings, you invest them into capital goods, which generate income and wealth and raise the entire economy of the country. Now, we fortunately have been endowed with very large savings, and we still have very large savings. So we should have used these savings to increase the growth of our economy. But it did not happen. I still fail to understand why it did not happen. Because we had this great asset that is of saving. Even today, I can tell you, every Indian family saves money. Every American family is in debt, by the way. You'll be surprised. Even the rich and the poor all are in debt. But the average Indian saves money. You may be surprised to know that in 1947, $1 was equal to 1 rupee. I repeat, $1 was equal to 1 rupee. When I went for my education to MIT, $1 was equal to 5 rupees. Today, $1 is more than 77 rupees. So you can see the value of our currency has reduced dramatically because we have not really managed our economy the way we should have. We also laid a lot of stress on public sector. Now, public sector is very important in many ways and for many things, but the public sector cannot drive the entire economy. And that was a fatal error. And this can be seen from the economic development of West Germany versus East Germany. East Germany followed one model, West Germany followed another model. North Korea versus South Korea, example. So you can see that the government should restrict itself to things of national importance like defense, and there are many other things that they should do, but it should leave business, general business, to the public at large. Another good example is Air India. Air India was a wonderful airline. In fact, some of you may be surprised to know that Singapore Airlines, when it started, purchased know-how from Air India. So Air India was deputed to help them start Singapore Airlines, which is now one of the best airlines in the world. And all of us know what happened to Air India. Finally, it has gone back in the hand of Tata. It was Tata Airlines earlier. It has gone back to the hand of Tata. And I am sure, I am certain that we will review it 2 or 3 years from now. It will again be a wonderful airline. So I think the public sector should be there, but should be restricted to some few selected sectors where the national interests are involved. Another mistake we made was that we discredited businessmen. We call them crony capitalism. It became a popular word. Some of our politicians still use that word. But we do not realize the fact that job creation, production creation are both in the hands of businessmen. It's very important to be able to, in fact, encourage them. And the sole businessman who has received the Bharat Ratna, we have given over 50 Bharat Ratnas, but only one businessman has received the Bharat Ratna, which is J.R.D. Tata, my boss. So I'm very fortunate to work for him, but he is the sole man who was thought fit enough to receive this. I'm talking history now. Our taxation reached confiscation levels. Where if wealth tax was included, some citizens had to pay more taxes than their income. Now, if you have to pay more taxes than income, why would you earn income? And why would you produce? When I came back to India in 1963, I was shocked to know that they were sitting on salaries, including my chairman, J.R.D. Tata. Nobody could earn more than 5 lakhs of rupees. Now, these are disastrous policies that resulted in the decline of India. Consequently, because of this high taxation, corruption started. Now, according to Bimal Jalan was the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, and his sister is, by the way, married into my family. He, in his book, he's become a good author now. In his book, he says that India has paid the price of 2% growth. Our growth would have been 2% more than what it was, and the reason is corruption. So corruption is something which we should hit with a sledgehammer. Our economy suffers very vastly if we continue to have corruption in our midst. It drains our blood. It's a huge problem. What is the other problem? There is no tax on agriculture. You may earn 1 crore, you may earn 10 crores. You pay zero tax. Now, that does not make sense to me. And it creates illegitimate income, as some of us know, in the wrong hands. So I think we need to correct this as quickly as possible. If a farmer earns 10 crores of rupees, why should he not pay tax? Makes no sense whatsoever. Consequently, the tax collection of the government is one of the lowest in the world. You may be surprised to know this. We collect about 1/6 of our GDP in taxes. In Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, that part of the world, taxation collection is about 50%. 50% of the GDP is collected in taxes. And as a consequence of that, there's free education, there's free health, there are better roads, there's better defense. So taxation is not imposition on the population. Taxation wisely used by the government is of great benefit to once and all. And our taxation is low for many, many reasons, one of which is agriculture. But there are many other reasons which we can talk to in a different forum. Despite all of this, India will collect about $500 billion in taxes this year, thanks to several path-breaking initiatives, including the GST. The GST now collects about 1.5 lakh crores every month. So I think a wonderful job that the government has done, and I'm sure they'll continue to put in such policies which will raise the taxation of the government without imposing on its citizens. I think our economy is now in good shape. And let me give you some statistics to prove this fact. I reiterate that our growth last year was 8.7%, which is quite remarkable. But there are many other statistics. The size of our economy is now number 6 in the world. As you know, the largest USA, then come China, then Japan, Germany, and the two which are almost like India, France, UK, and then India. And we will overtake France and UK within the next 2 or 3 years, I'm sure. So we will become ranked number 4 in the world. Remarkable job. Our share in the global GDP when we became independent was 2.6%. It now go to 3.2, 3.3%. Our share in global trade is increasing leap by leaps and bounds. It increased from 2% to 2.2% in the last 2 years. On auto production, in the old days we had 2 cars, the Fiat and the as you know, the Ambassador. We are the 4th largest producer of and consumers of cars in the world. Steel production. Steel is synonymous with industry. We are now number 2 in the world. I repeat, China number 1, India number 2. Remarkable job. Mobile phones. All of us know what a mobile phone is. Our rank was 12. We are on number 2 in the world. So look at the progress that has taken place over the past 10 odd years. The number of unicorns, which was talked about by some of my speakers earlier, we now last year had 93 unicorns. A unicorn is a company that has a market cap of more than 1 billion, with 7,500 crores. So now our young people with ideas are creating these kinds of companies, and the strength of the economy lies not in 2 or 3 big people. It lies in the number of large MSME sector. And these unicorns are going to make a huge, huge difference to this country. The ease of doing business has improved dramatically. The more the controls, the more difficult it becomes. The larger businesses, I can tell you, without naming them, but all the large businesses know how to get around controls. So the controls really make an impact on the MSME sector. But they don't know how to get around these problems. Now the ease of doing business is getting better and better and better every year. So I have no doubt whatsoever, with the unicorns coming in, with the ease of business getting into place, India will become a developed economy very quickly. So I am very bullish about the Indian economy. Sometimes I regretted the fact that I came back to India 1963, but I was a patriot. Everybody in the audience is a patriot. I know that. Every one of you is a patriot. And I likewise came back because I wanted to do something for my country. I could have standing number one in the class at MIT. I could have had any job that I wanted. But I said, no, I'll come back to this country and I'll make my contribution to making it once great again and standing on the top of the ladder. And I was very disheartened, but now again, I am very optimistic that we are on the right path. Let me now speak briefly about education. I think education is very important. The quality of education, the type of education is very important when it comes to economic development. There is a very strong correlation between education and the country's economy. If you analyze the education and the per capita income by country, you will find a very strong correlation between the two. I would therefore like to take this opportunity to compliment Sainik for the wonderful job that you're doing in educating the future of our country. And I'll speak to you briefly about that, but maybe I can say that I believe you have 30 some odd schools right now, Sainik schools, and you're planning another 100. I would like to encourage you to talk in terms of thousands. How did you 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 Sainik schools? I think it can make a dramatic difference, and we can talk separately about how this can be done, and it should be done. Now, I must point out to you, it is not a coincidence that India was one of the most developed nations just 250 years ago. We had a very strong education system. Two of the oldest universities in the world, Takshila and Nalanda, which has students from all over the world, not only from India, from all over the world studying there, were in India. And that was the basis. Even the Kautilya or Chanakya was a professor at Takshila, as many of you know. So education was the foundation for the country. Now, all of us have read the Ramayana, I'm sure. Lord Ram and his brothers always sent to the ashram of Guru Vashisht to study. So that is the importance that we laid on education 5,000 years ago. So education is key to the progress of any nation. Many disruptive technologies come from universities, like Google was started by two people doing their PhD thesis in Stanford. So a lot of the disruptive technologies and ideas that we are used to have the origin in the university system. I'll do a statistic which might surprise some of you at least. 25% of US GDP, 25% of US GDP comes from enterprises founded by alumni of MIT and Stanford. Think about it. I repeat, 25% of the GDP of the United States of America from companies or enterprises started by the alumni of these two universities. That is the importance of a good education system. India has created world-class institutions now with IITs, the IIMs. So on the one hand, we are very proud of the fact that we have created these great institutions. But simultaneously, I'm very sorry that 20% of our citizens are still illiterate. So what a dichotomy. On the one hand, we have the IITs and the IIM. And on the other hand, we have 20% of our citizens who still don't know how to read and write. So we should somehow be able to correct that. To give you some statistics, we have 1,043 universities today. The largest in the world, by the way, more than USA and China. And there are 3.85 lakh or 38.5 million students enrolled in them. We have 43,343 colleges and 11,779 standalone institutions. I am very proud of the fact that 49% of our students in the university are women. It is a great, remarkable achievement. And 42% of the faculty are also women. And women are one of the greatest unutilized resources of the world. So I think this is a very good sign for India that we are going to use education as a base to spring, to leapfrog into the developed world. I happen to be a member of the advisory board of Bombay University. This university has 8.5 lakh students and about 850 colleges. Together with two others, Mr. Ratan Tata and Mr. Anil Kakorkar, who was the chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission. And we are attempting very hard. They're trying to put in policies to improve the education system of our universities. And I'm sure that once the university systems become like the IIT and IIM, and there's no reason why it cannot, you will make a tremendous impact to the country at large. Talking of education, all the education, if I tell you that we need to have 4 tiers in our education system. Tier 1, world-class research and high-quality education, like MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Cambridge. Tier 2, high-quality teaching and some research. Tier 3, teaching at the undergraduate level. And level 4, which we have ignored for a long time, and finally we seem to be doing something about it.
Is there some technical issues?
Yes, sir. Looks like from Lalit.
Yeah, I think we have just lost
Sir's internet
issues.
is.
Yeah, we'll try to get him. No issues.
Sir had actually sent a message that his geo connection may not be proper. Perhaps he may join again. That's it.
So we'll wait for him until the time if somebody, they can put the questions also, the our viewers or the audience.
He's still there in the audience. Can you spotlight him? Let's see. Umesh?
Sir, right now he's not.
He's not there?
He's not there, sir. No, sir. He just,
Yeah.
his video.
Okay, let me stand.
Yeah, so just go ahead and have a word with him. So till that time, I'll ask the audience to just put your questions on the chat or the question box, so that once sir is coming back, we can ask them. But I would request that you put it very short questions, because the long questions again will take time. Yeah, that's nice of you, Umesh or Akshay. We can display all schools and colleges who are attending here.
Vivek, just display all the names of people, all the schools and colleges, because you cannot read them.
Yeah, yes, so that's what they are displaying now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I just spoke to sir. He's got a problem with his internet. What he has told is he will try to join through mobile. His general internet is broken down. So he's joining with the mobile.
Not an issue, sir. I think till the time, I think we'll just go ahead with this and we'll wait for him.
Akshay, you could read out the names too.
Yes, sir. Good evening, dear Ajeets. Today's AKF event is seeing a great participation from various institutions across the state, as well as different parts of the country. It is a matter of pride that many of these institutions are being helmed by our own Ajeets. Apart from Sainik School Bijapur, Sainik School Satara, and Sainik School Kodagu, we have a group of schools helmed by the Cholle Education Society based in Badgaon. We have the Shiv Shankar Jale pre-primary school, primary school, and the high school. We also have the Shiv Shankar Jale CBSE school at Examba, as well as from Nippani. We have the Asha Jyoti School for Special Children, and their representatives have joined in. We also have various colleges joining us. We have the KLE Dr. M.S. Sheshagiri College of Engineering and Technology and their staff. We also have the KLS IMER at Badgami who have joined in. From Bagalkot, we have the Padmavati International School at Rabkavi. And from Davangere, we have the children and staff from Edu Asia School. From Bengaluru, a host of schools and colleges have joined in: the Oxford College, the Arunodaya College, Guru Sai College, and the Aurobindo College. We have the Seshadripuram group of colleges who have come in. We have the ASC Degree College, the NIMS College, the IIFA College. We also have the first grade colleges, the Kuempu, as well as the Kengeri first grade college. We have the government colleges from Magdi Road as well as Vijayanagar. We have the Kempegowda Institute of Management and the Karnataka College of Management, whose principal, staff, and administrative members have joined in. From Hubli Dharwad, we have the IEMS Business School, the Chetan Business School. We have the JSS Degree College as well as the Global Degree College, and staff and students from the NK Chalukya Sahodaya hub of around 40 schools, as well as the KLE Nursing Institute. From our own Vijaypura, we have the Jain Public School and the Rabindranath Tagore School joining in today. We have students and staff from Maharashtra today, the Claremont International School at Ashta, and from Kolhapur, the Sahodaya hub of schools, as well as the Sanjay Godawat International School. Apart from that, NGOs have joined in who are working in the field of education. Initiatives for Development Foundation, as well as eVidyaloka Trust, their functionaries and staff have joined in today. We welcome you all and thank you for being part of this event.
Thank you, Akshay.
I think can we start now the time? He's still not joined us. Maybe we will have our seniors, BG sir, Gopal sir, Ashok Dave sir may take. It's okay.
Ashok sir or Gopal sir?
Yeah, I think I'm just listening to the proceedings, sitting in a very distant place. Am I audible?
Yes, so you're audible, sir.
Yeah. I'm sitting in a very distant place in a remote island, but yet the connectivity is quite good. I think so far it has gone on well. Hopefully, Dr. Lalit joins us in a couple of minutes because I think he was at the peak of his talk, and maybe under 5-10 minutes he would have spoken. But it's something very, very, very well organized, I would say, getting so many people into the forum to listen to these eminent speakers. I must thank Dr. Ashok and his whole team of people who work very, very hard to bring Lalit Kanodia to us. And I think for the first time we have somebody who is speaking on the economics, the wealth of the nation. All along we have had it on science, culture, technology and other things. But first time somebody was speaking to us on the economics and education. I think let us wait for him for a couple of minutes, and if unfortunately due to some reason he's not able to join, we can go ahead with the further discussions. But as maybe I wanted to say a couple of things in the end, but I will say it till he comes. Friends, let us all now realize that AAA has become extremely big, large, and it is improving day by day. Especially, I must thank the people who made this Ajeets Knowledge Forum, the branch of the AAA, the Ajeets Entrepreneur Forum, and the new one I hear now is the Ajeets Philanthropists Forum. So these are the things that actually are going to help us, because these are very well focused forums which are going to engage the alumni for longer time, and they add value to the alumni. And the reputation of our institution, our science school, will depend on the reputation of the alumni. Because the students in science school will study for the NDA, pass out, join institutions and all that. But we who have already passed out of the institution, I think it would be our reputation that would actually enhance the reputation of our alumni. Most of the alumni are doing extremely well. And as someone rightly pointed out, one need not be in circulation for that. A lot of people doing a lot of silent work behind the scene. And there are a lot of people who have not been, who have been unfortunate not to take up leadership roles. I would suggest that all of the alumni, all of us, should take up the leadership roles of the society in whatever field we are, wherever we are. Maybe I'm in a village, I take up a leadership role for the improvement of the society around me in whatever small way it is, because we can't live to ourselves. We'll have to live for the people around us. So from that angle, I think I request alumni to get engaged with the society more and more. Take up in whatever field that you choose. Maybe it is in politics, or it may be in industry, it may be in providing education, whatever field it is, that having got the benefit of probably a better quality of education in our childhood, we must, I think this is the time we need to honestly contribute back to the society. So, and let us engage ourselves, let us not bother in what socio-economic status we are. Wherever we are leaders. I think that should be our attitude to our own surroundings. And I request all of you to contribute more. And second thing is, now AAA has got more or less structure. It only needs a formal body, which I'm sure it will be happening within the next couple of weeks. I would request Dr. Ashok Dalwai that in whatever shape we are, we form a body. We can keep on improving upon it in due course. See, in whatever shape we are, let us form a new body. Let us have the young, old, and the mature and youthful people into the alumni office bearers and move forward. There's no, I would suggest that we should not keep waiting for a very, very structured document to come up. No document would be perfect. So in whatever form it is now, we should go ahead and not look back. And there could be some dissenting voices. I would definitely say to the dissenters, I would like to tell through this forum that whatever dissent you have, you please make it known. There's no point in talking about it behind the back. Bring it to the fore, let it be discussed, let it be sorted out. The intentions of each one of the people now who are active is noble, honest, and good. So I would suggest that, and if you still want to keep dissenting, I'm sure the alumni will go forward, it will progress further, and you'll be forced to join the bandwagon. That caution I'm able to give now. So I would suggest all the alumni, I appeal to them that please join this movement of the AAA, participate in it, help us improve the alumni so that we are aiming for something much bigger, maybe 5 years down the line, probably would be such a big force to reckon with in this country that people will stand up and take note of our alumni association. We have already started progressing. The amount of people who are coming and participating, the words that I hear wherever I travel about the Sainik School are so good, and it is so nice to hear people speak good things about the school and about its alumni, and alumni who are doing extremely well wherever they are. So I think we have now set a benchmark. We need to keep on improving on this and better it in the days to come. I think these few words, and in fact, Colonel Vishwanath was supposed to take my place. I have requested him that he will still take my place. He is going to talk to you. If Colonel Vishwanath is there, sir, a words of advice and wisdom from you before others take it over.
Gopal, firstly, give me that list of those dissenting people. And Maltesh will give me those numbers and contact details of them, and we'll sort them out first. You have expressed some great thoughts.
Yeah,
I think we'll be able to carry it forward. Shiva Prasad was talking, I think, again to Dr. Kanodia. Is there any update?
Sir, I spoke to him, sir. What happened is his broadband has collapsed. I think he had also texted to Dalwai sir that he's having problem with his Reliance broadband. He may have problem with his Reliance broadband. He's told me that he's trying to log in through his mobile, but not yet succeeded, perhaps.
Yeah, I think Shiva
we have a phone call login. We do not know if it is Dr. Kanodia.
Yeah, just check, please.
Yeah, please. I think because he has told me that he will log in through phone.
Through the phone.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I am.
Yeah.
I have just asked them to unmute. If it is sir, maybe he would respond.
What's so? Can you ask him to accept it?
Is he a panelist?
He is in the attendees, sir. He has joined in from a phone number. You can see.
I'm not able to see that. I'm not able to see the phone number. The panelist is not there.
Ending with 8001.
Yes, sir. I think he can speak as well.
Can I, sir?
Hello.
If you need
can hear him, sir.
Sir, we can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
So you can hear me. All right, good.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, but I can't get your image, but I can speak if you want.
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
Yes, sure.
go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you,
So
sir.
you want me to speak? Okay, I'll continue
Go ahead,
speaking, but without the image.
Yes. Please
I
go
don't know why
ahead, sir.
there's something seriously wrong.
Right, sir. You
And
please
I'm
go
not
ahead.
using my phone.
Your audio is extremely clear. Please go ahead. We are able to listen to
Okay,
you, sir.
fine. Yeah, okay, good. So what I was saying was that we need to create the MITs of the world. And as I said, MIT was just ranked #1 university in the world once again. But to be able to do this, we have to take some very serious action. For instance, all reservations in Tier 1 institutes should not be allowed. At IIT Bombay, over 50% of the seats are reserved. Now, when you have reserved seats, you have mediocre students. And when you have mediocre students, the faculty cannot teach at the level that it should. I would like to add that when reservations were being considered in South Africa, Nelson Mandela rejected this completely. He said, no reservations. Even if you have reservations in India for whatever reason, they should be time bound. It cannot be in perpetuity. Reservations, I think, is getting a tremendous amount of problems, particularly for Tier 1 institutes. Second, we need specialized and focused undergraduate education. Now, I was being told by Mr. Dalwai that one of the great requirements of this country is to create entrepreneurs and businesses. Now, this can be done by institutes such as, now these are not very widely known in India, Babson, Bryant, Bentley. These are colleges that are undergraduate colleges, but to provide business education and have been attended by many successful businessmen around the world, including the president of Toyota. So I think we need to create the Babsons of the world in India. It's very, very important. To again emphasize the importance of a good education system, 15 of the 45 presidents of the United States of America have graduated from the Ivy League. And Cambridge and Oxford have given 41 out of 56 prime ministers of the UK since 1721. Now, these are not accidents. They are done as a result of meritocracy. So I think we need to really understand and appreciate the fact that our Tier 1 institutes should be devoid of any reservation, and they will produce the leaders, whether it's business leaders, economic leaders, or political leaders. They will come from these kinds of institutes. Last is vocation. Most of the jobs in all economies, whether it's the United States, whether it's Japan, whether it's Germany, come from the vocations. The fitters, the carpenters, the painters, the tailors. You may be surprised to know even the cab drivers in UK have to pass a vocational training. Now, vocations are very important. Germany has passed the Vocational Training Act in 2005. And
The Act defines 329 vocations. So I think it's very important for us to understand that we need to have a good vocational training program, and we have not succeeded. We have forgotten the fact that IITs, which we are so very proud of, was created by UNESCO. IIT Bombay, where I was a student, was created by the Russians. IIT Delhi by the British. IIT Kanpur by the Americans. And IIT Madras by the Germans. Even the IIMs. IIM Calcutta was created with the help of MIT. IIM Ahmedabad with the help of Harvard. And I've been strongly advocating that we follow a similar path in our vocational training. Let us give the task to UNESCO. Let them set up the initial vocational training program. And subsequently, we can do it on our own. Today, to start an IIT or an IIM, we don't need any overseas advice. We have the know-how. But we don't have the know-how to run a good vocational training program. But the advice that I have given to the government has fallen on deaf ears. I don't know why. And I think vocational training is very important because the unemployment problem in this country can be solved not through the IITs and IIMs, but through vocational training institutes. So they're very, very important for the Indian economy. And I am sure in the years to come, the Indian education and Sainik schools will play a key role in the economic development of India. And I am glad to know which aggressive expansion plans. My humble suggestion to all of you is that we become far more aggressive. You may be surprised to know that there are 6 lakh madrasas in India. I reiterate, 6 lakh madrasas in India. Now, we should have similar numbers when it comes to education, such as the Sainik school. We should certainly be talking in terms of thousands. How do we do that? And there's a way of doing it. I'll be happy to participate on drawing up plans as to how you can accelerate the Sainik schools' presence in India. Because I think they will do a tremendous job when it comes to the nation. Talking of education, it is based on the premise advocated by our Upanishad, which says education leads to knowledge and knowledge leads to wisdom. Sa vidya ya hum yuktaye. So it's very important that education leads to knowledge and wisdom that is so important for any country's development. Finally, I believe that our universities are over-regulated and under-governed. And this needs to be corrected, particularly for these Tier 1 institutes. I'm sorry I'm overshooting my time, but I'll spend a few minutes on information technology. So I think it has made a significant difference to this country. It has put India on the map of the world. Whenever I travel abroad and say I'm from India, most foreigners immediately correlate India with information technology and what we have demonstrated in this field. How did it develop? What happened? What did we do right? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
sir.
you hear
Yes,
me,
sir.
sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Thank you. How did it develop? There were no regulations. You'd be surprised to know that many collectors of customs have come to my office and said, how do I control your export? I said, you cannot. The software exported through telephone lines. There's no way you can stop it. So no regulation. All exports for over 10 years, the profit was exempt from tax. We put in technology park.
Umesh, can you move?
Resulted in growth of the entire industry. Yes. Hello.
Others, please go on mute.
Quiet.
Yes, sir. You please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay, I can continue. Then the entire industry is based on meritocracy. See, whether Azim Premji or Shiv Nadar or Narayan Murthy, and everybody is there because of meritocracy and not because of its parentage. It's very important. Finally, the government and the industry played like an orchestra. A good orchestra makes good music. And we played like an orchestra, which is what resulted in the tremendous impact and the progress of IT. And then God stepped in finally We had the Y2K problem. God is kind to people who try. And the Y2K problem gave a tremendous impetus to this industry. I tell the government that we need to do something similar to other sectors. Example, two-wheelers. We are the largest manufacturer of two-wheelers in the world. Now we can do something similar to what we did for IT. It can really propel two-wheelers. Milk. We're the largest producer of milk in the world. So we can be the supplier of milk powder. We can't produce milk, because milk gets spoiled, but we can supply milk powder to the rest of the world. So we need to learn from the IT industry as to what can be done to propel our economy forward. IT revenues in 21-22, a year gone by, have been estimated at $250 billion, of which $150 billion are exports and $100 billion the domestic market. And IT is the largest export from India even today. Our Prime Minister, whenever he travels abroad, always talks of IT. So it has done India very proud. Look at it another way. The sector employs only about 60 lakh people, 60 lakh professionals. But on an average, they earn $41,000 per person per year, which, if every Indian worker earned this kind of money, our GDP would be higher than that of the United States of America. I repeat. So it has demonstrated that we Indians can earn as much as anybody else, and this can propel our economy. And our exports are likely to touch 350 billion by 2030. We have over 50% market share. We produce more IT graduates than any other country in the world. It's something which we are very proud of. 4 of the largest and best known IT companies in the United States, Microsoft, Google, IBM, and Adobe, are now headed by Indians. And Indians educated in India, by the way. Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, Arvind Krishna, Chatru Narayan. So Indians have now gained worldwide recognition when it comes to information technology. Of the 4 Indian companies valued at over 100 billion, 2 are IT, namely TCS and Infosys. The other 2 being HDFC, which is one, and Reliance is the 4th one. But out of 4, 2 are IT, which shows the power that IT has generated for the advantage of India. We should use the laws of competitive advantage to accelerate our economic development for the benefit of every citizen, the rich and the poor alike. We need to do this with a gusto. I must compliment the Sainik School. You are doing such a fantastic job. You are creating sons of the soil for defense, and all of you, I'm sure, are endowed with great patriotism. I think we made a serious mistake when we thought we did not need the services. Our initial government said, why do we need an army? And unfortunately, the teachings of Ashoka made us a passive nation, which enabled invaders to loot India and rule it. This has changed. We are now increasing our military strength. We have built our own aircraft carrier. We make our own submarines. We make the BrahMos missiles. Second to none. Mr. Kakolkar, who is with me on that panel that I talked about, says BrahMos is second to none. He's the best. We make our supersonic fighter plane, the Tejas. We now have the second largest army in the world. And what I'm very, very proud of is that defense services have no reservation. It's setting an example for the entire country. If we can run the defense without reservation, why do we need it in every other sector? So I think we have a great future ahead of us. I am delighted that I am in the presence of such an august gathering. I only hope that I've generated some thought in this delightful audience. I'm so proud of all of you and what you're doing to enable this country to work, to move forward very rapidly. I am sorry that we got cut off and it disrupted my chain of thought. But I hope that I've conveyed what I wanted to, that the Sainik schools are doing a wonderful job. Just continue to go aggressively forward, but become ambitious. Don't talk in terms of tens of 30, 40, 50 schools. Talk in terms of hundreds and thousands. And I think India will be very proud and grateful to the wonderful job that you are doing. Congratulations once again. Great job. And I repeat, thank you for inviting me. I feel deeply honored to address this August gathering. Thank you very much. I'm sorry you got interrupted. I'm helpless.
So that's fine, sir, with us. Thanks a lot, sir, for your inspirational and visionary address and the challenge you have given to us, that is per capita income, which was immensely inspired the participants and open up a new window for pursuing their passion. I would like to thank you for coming back to India also, that you did not be there abroad itself, and you came back and did a lot of things for India, and now we are in the, as you said, on the global map for IT. Sir, our listeners are eager enough to know more from you. So I think it's a question answer session. So if you permit, we'll take some questions from them.
I'll be happy to. I'm sorry that we are not on the internet. I know. Has it failed all over Bombay?
I'll read it for you because, yeah.
No, sir. Only I think there's some problem at your end, but your audio is very clear, and we are satisfied. So now we'll continue with the Q&A. Vivek, please continue.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, first question which has come is that how institutions in India can go ahead and develop JVs with America or international collaborations, and what are the do's and don'ts to follow, which will help us to go ahead with the international colleges and it can be recognized in India. So, would you like to answer that question, sir? Because it's from education and JVs, if you know about it, please, sir.
Well, I think slowly but surely we are not copying, but we are certainly learning from the experience of the developed economies in the West. So I think we need to, and as you probably know, a very large number of Indians go to America for education, and they reach the highest places and they come back. I think we need to listen to them. I think we need to not imitate them. We need to adapt what they are doing to the benefit of this country. And I think if we do that, there is no reason why. I can tell you, in most American universities, Indians stand at the top of the class. I've been witness to this all the time. So you have to listen to these people and give them power, give them an opportunity to serve the country. And they're all patriots. There's no reason why they will not do what they should be doing. And we're on the right path. I personally think the last 4 or 5 years, the government has done a great job. And I think it will continue to do that. And if we continue to do that, there's no reason why we cannot be in the situation that we should be.
Vivek, there is a question from Principal Sainik School, Bijapur. I think you have to take
I could not see that, sir. If you can, I would hand it over to, sir. You can read it for us. No issues.
Sir, because all of us are from Sainik School, Bijapur, we respect the question of the Principal Sainik School, Bijapur. The question is, what would be the impact of Russia and Ukraine war on the Indian economy?
Well, all wars, in my opinion, are bad. But then we've got to live with the world. We cannot change the world for what it is. There's a positive impact, there's a negative impact. The positive impact is that we are able to import oil, which is a very major source of foreign exchange drain, from Russia at a very reasonable price, and in rubles. And we do have a foreign exchange problem. We do have an energy problem. And that's the positive impact of it. The other thing, I think that the world has now discovered that we have a spine. We don't have to toe what the West is talking all the time. I think our foreign minister, has done a wonderful job by saying that there's more to the world than just the United States and Europe. And he has been saying that. I'm sure all of you must be reading what he says. So that's the positive aspect of it. And the negative aspect is because all wars are bad finally. So, but what do? I think NATO became a threat to Russia. They found that to be an excuse maybe. So it had that negative impact and it will continue to have a negative impact. I really feel very sorry for the Ukrainians, that they are really having a very hard time.
Noted, sir. Well understood. I'll go for the next question. What are the key factors that need to be considered for ever-changing technology in IT when ideation is to be done for a startup, sir?
Well, the greatest input to any success of any enterprise is passion. If you read Gershner, you read Jack Welch's autobiography, they repeatedly use the word passion. So you should be passionate about what you do. And you should continue to strive and not give up very easily. Success generally does not come overnight. And IT is in such a strong position, and India's brand equity is so high. If you are passionate and you have a good idea and you have the staying power, you will succeed, I can guarantee. I would encourage all our entrepreneurs to continue to push forward their ideas and not give up quickly. And now, unlike when I was starting my company, there are venture funds available, and they are willing to risk their capital on your idea. So I can see an opportunity for all our young entrepreneurs that they can do a great job and be successful and create a unicorn if they have these two ingredients: passion and staying power. Don't give up.
Well noted, sir. Dil Maage Bor, many people are asking questions, our audience are asking questions, sir, but I think we'll take one last question. That is, as you said, that we are not lagging behind, but in terms of AI, artificial intelligence, we understand that we are around 6th or 7th in the list, but the China is on the top. So how do we go about for the think tanks and other things so that we also race ahead and come somewhere near them or be the topmost?
Well, you see, our IT has one, not negative, but one area which I think we are not looking at very carefully. You see, there's so much profit. If you look at all the IT companies, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL, even my own company, they are very profitable. Now, when you are profitable, you tend to become dependent on what you are doing right now. So we have not concentrated on IT products. We don't have the equivalent of a Microsoft, example. We don't have the equivalent of a SAP, for example. And a lot of the artificial intelligence software are product-based. So I think we need to invest, take a little risk, where the larger companies should invest some of the money into artificial intelligence. That is the future, in my opinion. So, and I think that will happen. I think it'll take a few more years, but I'm quite positive and I'm quite optimistic that it will happen.
So well understood and well noted that, sir. I think we'll take one more question, which is very important and we want to understand. We are curious to know the vision of JRD, and you were very close to him. You had all the way back in 1967 of IT. So can you tell us about his foresight and other things, what he imagined and then took you?
See, I once ran a one-day program on IT at the Tata Management Training Center in Pune. And JRD Tata attended that program for the whole day. Besides the fact that, of course, I worked for him, I asked at the end of the program, I asked him a question that, sir, what is the most difficult thing you do? And I still remember the answer after more than 40 years. The young man, most difficult thing I do is to manage people. And I believe that to be true. A person at that level, as JRD was, has to learn how to get the best out of the people. They don't have to know the subject themselves. Tata is running over 100 companies, of which 25 odd are listed companies. Right from IT to automobiles, to steel, to you name it, they do it. They are not experts at everything, but they have people who are experts. And they are able to manage and motivate those people. And Chiari is very, very, very good at that. I don't know of a person better than him when it comes to man management. So that is something which I think we need to learn from him, that you've got to grow, you've got to be able to delegate, you've got to be able to motivate, and you've got to be able to reward the people who are finally going to manage your company. That's my sincere advice. And that's what he did brilliantly well.
So thank you very much for that, sir. I think many more questions are coming, but due to limitation of time, we'll not take it online now. I would like to thank you again for that. But one more thing which I want to do is that to acknowledge one of our non-aging teacher, that is Sri G.D. Kale, who has come on us. Akshay, can you show him on the this one, our video? Or
yes, sir.
Yeah, please. I think all will be, yeah.
Yes.
So, Dr. Kanodia, sir, he is a father figure for all of us. He's a nonagenarian. He's 91, 92 years of age, sir.
Sir, namaskar.
No, I'm 81. I'm not 91.
Namaskar. Sir, our teacher, Dr. Kale.
Our teacher, G.D. Kale, I think he's not able to see you. Sir, can you see him?
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
nice. Oh, yeah. How are you, Mr. Kale?
I think
he has not been keeping well recently.
He has problem listening, hearing. I'm with him, but he's very happy to see Ashok, Raju, Vivekanand, and Kenneth. He recognized all of them, and it's been like a vitamin.
So our namaskaras.
So I will log off.
Thank you.
He will not be able to stay for a longer time. With your permission, I will log off.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for that. It's moment for us.
Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you to G.D. Kale, sir. We are honored.
Going forward, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, moving forward on AAA, that is, and AKF, which has been expanding, as Gopal also said. Now we have to go further now. So, I just lost the things anyway, because of my own technological from mind issues. Ashok Dalwai, sir, who is there with us, he has been the epicenter for everything. And who has, chosen all our introducers and everyone in such a way that, two batchmates are introducing the other senior batchmates, and he has taken a cusp. That's me. That is, I'm a defense officer plus from IIT plus, Ajeet, the three. I don't know. His minds are such a way that he's taking us up in such a big way. I request him to, say some words to all the forum here. Ashok sir, to you.
Yeah, Vivek, thank you very much for your humbling words. I must first recognize the presence of our many seniors here so that our esteemed guest also knows. I want to recognize the presence of Captain G.R. Gopinath, who was our first speaker, who is an Ajeet entrepreneur, the founder of Air Deccan. Then we have General Ramesh Halgali, the former Deputy Chief of Staff. Then we have Devendra Pal Singh, then Mr. Danand Shivagunde, the Indian Revenue Service Officer. Then, of course, our former top cop of Karnataka and our President, Shri Gopal Vasur. And then we had Colonel Bhaskar Kale, the son of our most revered teacher, Kale sir. Then, of course, we have many others. I'm sorry, I did not get to see everybody. I could see, I have captured the names here. I must also recognize the presence of Madam Shakuntala Bhandarkar, whose husband, Ajeet Bhandarkar, was a martyr. And it's so nice of her that she has found time and the passion to join us today. We are also very happy that the Science School footprints are increasing. Today we have 3 Science Schools with us. We have, of course, our own Science School Bijapur's Group Captain Pratibha Best, the first women principal. Then we have Lieutenant Colonel Manisha Dabas, the first woman vice principal. Then also we have the Science School Kodagu and the Vice Principal of Science School Satara. Apart from these 3 science schools of the 35 in the country, and as our esteemed speaker has already told us, we should be adding more, I'm sure in due course of time, we'll have all the 35 schools represented at the AKF. We also have nearly 50 schools today from within the state of Karnataka and outside the state of Karnataka. From the chat box, I was seeing, for example, somebody introduced Mr. Malik from the English medium school, Kannada. And I saw so many such names. It warms the cockles of one's heart to see that boys and girls, the principals and headmasters of various schools and colleges find it worth joining the Ajeets Knowledge Forum. And so let me, first of all, with your permission, congratulate on behalf of everybody here in the entire Ajeet fraternity, General B.S. Raju, the boy from Shimoga, and Admiral Makrand Hampiholi, the boy from Dharwad. The 2 Ajeets who have risen to the top positions, and I'm sure all the 3-star generals from the Army, Navy, and Air Force that we have had so far, and we have still, will feel extremely thrilled. And we have General Ramesh Algali here. You'll be very happy to see that somebody has gone to a place where he was there, or even tipped him there. So we are very happy to have these 2 Ajeets with us. And only our prayer, as they say, that man's greed never ends. We had 2 boys from 1973 to 81 batch in Army and Navy. Wish you had produced 1 more Ajeet from your class who was in the Air Force. So let's hope that.
Thank you so much. And I think it'll happen soon.
Let's really hope that we have somebody there also.
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you very much. And to introduce to our chief guest, I must inform you about one of our brightest Ajeet family members who just made a great news across the global scene on 5th of June. He's none other than Shreyas Gopal Vasur, the son of Shri Gopal Vasur, who is the first civil servant in the country who has been declared as the Iron Man. He won the toughest sport on earth, the triathlon. Within 13 hours, 26 minutes, he completed 3 tough events, swimming across the Hamburg Lake at 6 a.m. early morning in the chilling cold. Then he completed full marathon of 42 kilometers. And then he also completed the tough cycling over 180 kilometers. And all these 3 events within just 13 hours, 26 minutes. And as I saw the video clipping where he's waving India's flag and he's being introduced, here it is Shreyas Vasur from India. It was really a matter of pride for all of us. Just as I felt the same pride seeing Raju and Makarand in the smart dresses as they took charge. So, sir, we are very thrilled that you are also elder to us, and I'm sure they will all have your blessings. Now, just to share a few thoughts on this, that Ajeet Alumni Association is as old as the first boy who came out of the school in 1967, and it has been making good progress since then. We have had great contributors to this, and I can't recall everybody's name for the sake of for the simple reason that I may forget some names. But then I know, being a part of that scene where Dr. Chandrasekhar Hunchal sowed the first seeds for an organized AAA at the University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad. And we have had many people at different places. And as today our president has told, we have a vision, we have a goal. And that has got today nurtured, watered by the inspirational talk of Dr. Lalit Kanodia. Our vision says that we would like to recognize one of the top 25 alumni associations. Today, what you have told us is that if 25% of the GDP of United States comes from just 2 institutions, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, of which you are an alumnus, and the Stanford University, why can't all the science schools in the country, including our own science school, Bijapur, start contributing generals and top secretaries and entrepreneurs? So that will be part of that. But then we would like to go outside that particular structured organization and build large number of entrepreneurs. So today your particular topic, where you have taught us how to combine the potential of Ma Saraswati and Mahalakshmi, is to build entrepreneurs. Therefore, our vertical that we're going to soon launch is Ajeet Entrepreneurs Forum. And we take a lot of lessons from your talk today that India's economy is growing, and we're certainly certain to be minimum 32 trillion US dollars by 2047, or even we can hope to go beyond that. And therefore, there's so much of opportunity that will be coming for our young Ajeets to build enterprises. And that's what we will draw inspiration from you. Because in you, we saw not just a best outgoing student of school, but somebody who has kept that momentum all through the life, that you have joined the best of institutions within the country and within other countries, including United States. And you hail from a family where 6 brothers joining IIT. This is something, it's just mind-boggling for all of us to listen to. So you inspired us and taught us that you need not be just the topper in the class, but you can be a hard-nosed entrepreneur, that you can be a teacher, you can be a researcher, and you can be also passionate about nation. I think today the whole country wants to be moving forward in true spirit of nationalism. So you have added a lot of fuel to that particular burning cinder in each of us. So thank you very much, sir, for sharing all these thoughts. I would like to also take this opportunity of sharing with all our Ajeet friends who are spread across the globe. We have today, for example, people from Singapore. Somebody said that he's calling from Abu Dhabi. So imagine the Ajeets have been joining from across the continent to listen to you, to be part of the celebrated Ajeet Knowledge Forum. I would like to appeal to all the Ajeets that each of us has taken this responsibility to make a little and humble contribution to building an institution for the posterity. That means the younger Ajeets. In fact, people of our age particularly are past the prime. We are only here in the almost the third phase of our life. We are here now in the sannyas ashram, but then we would like it to be a contributory sannyas ashram. And this is for all the younger Ajeets, so that they will become bright and positive citizens of India and the world. And as we build our Ajeets platform, I can recall one particular leader who built a multinational company, the Starbucks company, the one that you see across the globe around the corner. And that particular the leader, business leader, Howard Schultz, was not a businessman to be born with. He was into sales. He was selling sports commodities, but going around the world. And that's how that spirit of enterprise came in him. Because when he saw people in Italy drinking coffee, he wondered why Americans are not drinking coffee. Just see how the idea was born. But the best thing about his enterprise, I think, which is very relevant for us, if we are looking at AAA also as one of the enterprise that we're building, the title of that book is Pour Your Heart Into It. Pour your heart into it. That means that every cup of coffee that is prepared and served at Starbucks, whether it is in Africa or in America, it must be filled with love and affection. So likewise, we would like to build AAA with love and affection. And some of the qualities of leadership that I can recall from the book of Howard Schultz is that we must build team. And then we must work for a common and collective goal. And third, most important is, even as we work as a team, every individual must be given an opportunity to excel, must be given a scope to work for the collective goal. So this is what I think our Ajeet Alumni Association wishes to do and shall do, that we have a common goal that we shall work together as a team, and simultaneously every single Ajeet, whether it's 18 years who had just passed out of the school or 70 years, as we have Colonel BGB Kumar today here. I'm sorry, sir, don't mind, I'm calling you 70 years. And you're still not 70, I know. There are many like you here. The idea is to say that notwithstanding this range of chronological age, we would like to build an Ajeet forum where everyone is going to contribute in his or her own way. So I would appeal to all the Ajeets here that let's work together. Let us build a very strong Ajeet Alumni Association. We shall put ourselves behind the collective interest. Because easily fall into the trap of Maya. We shall all ensure that we do not fall a prey to this Maya of glory or the the aggrandizement. So we shall all work keeping ourselves low. And I can tell you the kind of boys that we have who make these videos, who write the introductions, who connect with people. They're all youngsters, and they do it in a very silent manner. They hardly are seen anywhere, but it's the glory that is coming to some of us. So we would like to request you that please keep encouraging these youngsters in particular, and also that our elders and the others will be sharing their experiences, their wisdom, and their umbrella of protection. So this is what I think the AAA stands for. So thank you very much, everybody. We have had a feast of ideas from Dr. Lalit Kanodia. I think he's the first speaker in this 6th session who has offered very daring and unconventional ideas. It's very difficult for somebody to speak some things that he has taught. I can only tell all the participants here, whether Ajeets or non-Ajeets, that we should have the courage to speak what we want, and simultaneously we should have the courage to reject what we want to reject. So that means it is a free forum. Ajeet Knowledge Forum is a free forum. So we respect the thoughts and ideas of Dr. Lalit Kanodia, and we simultaneously respect the democratic spirit of all the participants here. But sir, you have set us thinking, and then it is left to the participants to analyze, interpret in their own way. But all of them are extremely not only happy, but they're inspired that at a young age of 80, we can still go strong, have a very sharp mind, very clear thought, and also have a continuum of past, present, and the future. So thank you so much. We would like to continue our association with you, and we would like to certainly benefit from you as we build our Ajeet Entrepreneur Forum and then borrow ideas. And lastly, let me thank General Raju, who said that Ajeets who would like to try out enterprises or innovations in the defense production are welcome. So I think it has been extremely good foreboding for our Ajeet family. And soon, Ajeets, please wait to know what we're going to do with the Ajeet Knowledge Forum. You'll all be welcome to Hubballi to launch this particular forum. And I hope that you'll all be able to join us. And those of you who can't make it physically, you're always free to join the omnipotent virtual platform. So thank you very much. And so Vivek, I hand over the mic back to you, and you can take it forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your continued inspiration. Today, we are also privileged to have an inspirational leader and a mentor, Colonel BVG Kumar, sir, who was the first school captain, as you are aware. This is the 3rd time you're telling it again, but who took part in the Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971. Sir, may I request you to please deliver the presidential address. Sir, over to you.
Ajeet hai, Amit hai. Good evening to everyone. I am temporarily replacing Shri Gopal Hosur, who is also on the web. If you want to take on, please do that, and I'll follow after that. Gopal, are you there? Okay, I'll continue. It has been an extraordinary evening for all of us here, and also globally who are virtually present in this great occasion. The energy, passion, and enthusiasm of Dr. Lalit Kanodia to share his wealth of knowledge, the presence of Ajeet luminaries like General Raju, Admiral Makarand, has added color to this evening. At this stage and time when I am contemplating nirvana, it is amazing to see a person like Dr. Lalit Kanodia, who is several years senior to me in age, is continuing to share his expertise and knowledge with the younger generation and contributing to nation building. Recently, I read somewhere that a wise man saying that a person who is considered influential, rich, and powerful earlier was someone who owned large tracts of land. Then it shifted on to a person who had amassed wealth in terms of money, gold, etc. Today, it is the person who holds information and data, and I leave it to the audience to assess the stature of our guest, Dr. Lalit Kanodia, who is a treasure himself. Ordinary humans would not see or pursue what is beyond the horizon, which is not visible. Dr. Lalit Kanodia has crossed the ordinary line and made this invisible horizon visible way back to enrich India and the world with his potential. Thank you, sir, for this invigorating, positive talk and in your humility to oblige us, as majority of us would never have dreamt to come face to face with you. My gratitude and thanks to General Raju and Admiral Makarand to have spared their time with us this evening. The Ajeet Knowledge Forum, the backbone of this program, has grown from strength to strength. It is difficult to imagine the amount of monumental work which goes behind the scenes, organizing an event of this nature. Like the tip of an iceberg, we see very little of the mass below. It has been a team effort, and naming a few would not be fair, as almost all of them are behind the screen. My salute to all the brilliant Ajeets who are a part of this Ajeet Knowledge Forum and the Ajeet fraternity who have made this evening possible, which has gone on like a song seamlessly. My thanks and gratitude to the entire gamut of audience, including various institutions, students, and staff, families, guests who have gathered in thousands today to make this event an eventful and meaningful evening. Dr. Kanodia, sir, being an old-timer, I do recognize the name of General Hira. I've heard of him. And to take a leaf from General Raju's talk and your talk, if you ask a postgraduate whether he can operate a PC and get into the web, and if the answer is no, then he's uneducated. Today, the computer and the IT world and the web is everything. To say that it takes a miracle to find a special person and an hour to or a day to listen to him and appreciate him, and it takes an entire lifetime to forget him. That is you, sir, Dr. Lalit Kanodia. Once again, Ajeet hai, Abit hai, Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir.
Vivek, sorry to butt in. Vivek,
yes, sir.
Can I have just half a minute? Sorry to butt in. Based on various messages that I got personally in my message box here, and also as a mark of due respect, there are some seniors here who also, I must beg pardon from the president, because normally after the presidential remark, we're not supposed to invite anybody. But sir, I hope we will agree with, you will give me permission. There are some seniors here who would like to share a word or two. So may I request the seniors present here? We have got General Ramesh Algali, Mr. Devendra Pal Singh, and we also have Mr. Shugunde and many others. Would you like to just share one or two words, please? Well, sir, and to Dr. Lalit Kanodia, sir, very sorry we are holding you back just a few more minutes. May I request, and Captain Gopinath also is here. Sir, can you kindly come over and share a few thoughts, sir, one or two words? Don't put me into an embarrassing position to call you one by one. It would be unfair on my part to be doing that. You come forward, sir, please. Okay.
Sir, unable to see Captain Gopinath, sir.
Okay, then General Ramesh Algali is here.
Yes, sir.
Sir, please come over. Can you hear? Can you see? Umesh,
We are not able to see
We
any
can't see General Halili, sir.
Some of them have joined as an attendee, sir.
No, he's there, sir.
Can you
Ramesh sir is
can
in
you hear
panel.
me?
right, sir, go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
Can you see me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
I think it's a wonderful beginning that the Knowledge Forum has set into motion.
Hey,
We've had
Ramesh,
a series of
Ramesh.
wonderful guest speakers coming in.
Ramesh, put your video on. Video lagao.
Can you see me now?
No, sir.
Sir.
It's okay, sir.
Hello.
I mean,
Oh, it's okay, Ramesh. I think the camera is not accepting you. It's okay. Fine. Continue.
No, it's now you're on.
Okay. So I think from all the discussion today, let's take a lead and prepare a program which Ashok says in Hubli they're going to start. Let's make 2 or 3 pilot projects for the startups that wish to strengthen the armed forces by generating power technologically. With General Raju sitting there as our vice chief today, we are so proud of him. Let us first create a niche amongst ourselves, and all that we have said in the last 6 sessions can actually be converted into 2 programs, which we would like to seek the indulgence of General Raju to kind of see how we can move this program forward. Let's have 2 pilot projects only, and I would be at the background. I will keep on, chasing this entire dynamics. We could include technology coming in from foreign countries, merging with our startups here, and with the philosophical and doctrinal thoughts of the armed forces. I'm sure General Raju will be able to give some direction. And of course, without, because he's in uniform, please remember, the Ajeets fraternity, there are limitations for General Raju today, but he will guide us from whatever position he can. And I think we can set up this entire process of entrepreneurship amongst ourselves. So I think Hubli would be a good set time in the last week of this month where we can kickstart this program.
So absolutely, I can say without any hesitation that there are immense opportunities, and in fact, there are multiple funds which are there with different personnel and different headquarters, and they are keenly looking at the people who have the capacity, the dynamism, and the idea, and there is no question of we not assisting anybody with the talent to to take his project forward. The present the thought process within the government is to encourage local entrepreneurs. We are ready to take the risk. We understand that when we invest in a particular individual, we will not always get the success, but we will definitely push people to come on board so that we have some of the places where we have invested to fructify and give benefit to the armed forces and of course to the nation. So we are on board this project. Thank you.
Dr. Kanodia, you wanted to say something, sir?
Well, I've been listening to all of you, and I can tell you, I'm a great admirer of what you've done. My only request is that you please create many more Sainik schools. Don't get inhibited. You are doing such a great service. Besides education, you are creating patriotism. You're feeding the nation in more ways than one. So please get ambitious on that front. And money will not be a problem, let me assure you. There are many ways, like we can talk about it, how you can raise the funds. But please propagate them. They are very important to the nation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will look forward to your continued guidance. Now, may I request Air Vice Marshal Vivek Yajurvedi to come onto the screen?
Okay, Ashok, you had to do it. Fine. Okay. All right, guys. I'll be as short and informal as possible. I have a feeling that Ajeets have a great potential as far as IT field is concerned, because we got great minds in that, and I've personally known people who have done some great job. And if I connect that to warfare, we need not only technology, but we need to absorb it. So we need simpler solutions because our education system is still not able to cope with the technology absorption. My own experience in the Air Force is that we had the Russian aeroplanes. Army had also the Russian tanks, etc., etc. But we were not able to absorb even Russian technology, which is way behind the Western technology. In other words, our ability to repair and keep our aeroplanes serviceable was always found wanting. And we, of course, kept saying that Russians do not support us, which is true to a large extent. And if you look at the future of warfare and how our IT people from the Ajeet can make a difference, is that we talk about hybrid warfare. Essentially, it's a buzzword, and one keeps throwing it around all over the place, especially in the TV chat panelists. Essentially, it means we need to use artificial intelligence. We need to get into cyber warfare. And to that extent, I think people in the gaming industries, in fact, if you look at the history of gaming industry, it was a gaming industry which learned from the military IT technologies at one point in time. Today, DARPA, what we call in the American, the bigwigs in the American military, the DARPA, learns from the video game industry. So we have a lot of potential. And to my mind, what Ramesh Halgali was talking about, that we need to have 1 or 2 pilot projects. If the Ajeets can get involved seriously in the issue of cyber security, in fact, a very simple thing, we need to secure our radio telephony. The Indian Air Force still doesn't have a completely secure radio telephony. Can you beat it? We are talking about 2022. We don't have many things which we need desperately. And this is where the Ajeets can make a difference, because I know Ajeets are very good at IT software solutions. That's my understanding. So they can get into this field in a big way and make a lot of difference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Who else is there? I could see Mr. Shugunde there. Will come over, please. Okay, I think he's there. Okay, Vivek, I think we can close it. I don't.
Yes, sir. I'll just take over from you now, sir.
Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would request Dinesh Bagdandi, and again an Ajeet and an entrepreneur, creating curiosity about science with a buzzword called
just a moment. No, just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Yes, also here.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think Dinesh is coming in for the vote of thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've been in a far land listening to all the deliberations. Very interesting, exceedingly well participated. And I must compliment the AKF for bringing Dr. Lalit Kanodia to us this evening. Kanodia, sir, you have made a remarkable.
Sir,
you're on mute, sir. You unmute, sir. Gopal, sir, unmute. Sir.
Yeah. Am I now audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I must thank the AKF for bringing Dr. Lalit Kanodia to us this evening. He has been remarkable. He has been extremely passionate in his talk to the alumni today. I think we feel totally energized after listening to him. He has spoken to us of our past, our present, and what our future should be, and has also laid down in a very uncharacteristic style the roadmap to achieve it. As Dr. Ashok rightly said, he has been extremely bold in his ideas, and he has conveyed it in no uncertain terms. I think probably the theme of his talk was education is the best investment that we can make. He has also identified the pain points that we have
the sacred challenges, the sacred responsibilities that is shouldered on all Indians. Sir Kanodia, sir, I must thank you. I am in Greece. I am in an island, but yet I was able to, I was very happy to be a part of listening to this, your talk today. And also a talk by a number of our seniors, and especially Dr. Ashok Dalwai summarized it extremely well, that the alumni needs to go forward and will engage ourselves with one another as well as with the civil society around us to ensure that we contribute in a much larger way to nation building. History, as you said, is the best teacher. And I'm sure we, having come from the period post-independence and what we are seeing today and what we visualize for future, I think the combination of the young and the mature minds will take the AAA into greater heights. We always look forward to, you said we should have more science schools. I only wish that we have a defense minister from our alumni or a prime minister in due course. And I'm sure your thoughts would get fructified very soon on that. And thank you very much for appreciating the science schools, their contributions to nation building. I'm extremely happy that the AKF thought it fit to invite General Raju and Admiral Makran to be present for this occasion and to convey their messages to the alumni. And you too, actually, we are very, very proud of you, of all our seniors who have done so well in whatever they have chosen to do in their careers, both in the defense services as well as outside. And I'm sure you will inspire the younger Ajeets in the days to come. And AKF in particular, special words of thanks, because you have invited not just the Ajeets and their families, but a wide spectrum of society from outside, especially the young generation of people from various institutions. I think this is an indication that the alumni, the AAA, is becoming meaningful in its contribution towards the society. One word of request to Dr. Lalit Kanodia ji. I'm sure you look at your CSR funds to assist the Alumni Association to do better job in the days to come. We are extremely happy and very, very grateful to you, because you are the first speaker amongst the speakers that we have had who has actually touched on the economy of the country and how wealth needs to be developed to make this country a very, very strong country amidst the Committee of Nations. Once again, the AKF team would not like to name individuals because there are a large number of people who have worked behind the scene. It fills us with pride that the alumni are doing so well and you have brought this program to us. Wishing you all the best. Let us together make the AAA more stronger, more robust, and more progressive in the days to come. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Just one announcement, please. Sorry to butt in. We want to recognize that 3 other Ajeets who have entered the gallery of celebration. One is Shivayogi Kalsad, who after having served with great credibility as the MD of KSRTC, Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation, has now been posted as Secretary Agriculture, Government of Karnataka. We congratulate him and recognize his services. And we also have another Major General who had just now been promoted to hold the 3-star rank of Lieutenant General, and he's being posted to Panjamin, Odisha. So we also would like to recognize Ulas Talur, another young Ajeet who is moved up, another 3-star general, and of course another young officer, Vijay Mahantesh, who goes back to our hometown Vijaypur as the Deputy Commissioner and District Magistrate of Bijapur. So we have our Principal Science School and we have Vijay Mahantesh to all work together. Thank you. Just wanted to say this. Thank you so much. Yeah, Vivek, go ahead.
Thank you again, sir. I think it will be very difficult for Dinesh to, thank him. Dinesh, take over. So please Go ahead.
Well, good evening, all of you. Respected Dr. Kanodia ji, respected senior Ajeets and fellow colleagues. It has been such a high voltage evening today. What an honor it has been for all Ajeets to listen to such a fascinating talk by Dr. Kanodia ji. In fact, sir, India missed 3 industrial revolutions, but the 4 in industry 4, I'm sure your talk will immensely motivate the young Ajeets and young minds who are here. Your talk was like Jambuanta educating Hanumanta about the power that he has, and I'm sure there are thousands of audience today in different. There are 50 plus schools. There are many Sainik schools. The family of Ajeets who are attending this. I'm sure your talk will has motivated them, and we have had goosebumps from the data that you shared about Indian economy and the kind of the foundation, the kind of education foundation that India has had, the Takshashila, Nalanda kind of universities that you talked about. It was very, very fascinating, sir. Thank you so much for your inspiring words. Coming to, I'm so privileged to have our 2 brave hearts today from Manav Sainik School. We have India has been at this kind of a height only because of the safe borders, and when we are so proud that our own Ajeets are at help. General Raju sir, yes, Raju sir, and Admiral Makranji, thank you so much. Your words were so motivating. You always help Ajeets to held our head high always. We tell them that we come from this kind of a background where our own Ajeets are at this kind of a position. Thank you so much, sir. It was highly inspiring to have you. Well, we have also had our first school captain, Colonel Bijay Kumarji, he is so down to earth, and he continues to inspire us. Thank you so much for your presidential remarks, sir. And my thanks due to indefatigable Dr. Dalwai, sir. Sir, your kind of activities are so inspiring. You're so tireless. You keep writing so many words, motivating people, and you are the brain behind the activities of SSBJ, and has been inspiration for all of us. And thank you so much for this evening, sir. It has been a great show. And I would like to profusely thank all the principals and management of different schools. There are 50 plus schools. We have several thousand students, as I told you, who are watching this live, and this is also going to leave a trace on the internet, which is going to be viewed by several lakhs of people later. And it has been a very, very inspiring session so far. And I'm sure this high voltage generated knowledge session goes a long way to help these young minds who are attending this. And my respectful thanks to Principal of Sainik School Bijapur and other teachers and other colleges also. And there have been many audience on the YouTube, which is being streamed on YouTube. And nice to have had Kale sir. Thank you so much. In spite of having challenge to the health, you made it, sir. Very nice of you. And the brief words from General Halagli sir and Ejurudi sir. Thank you so much for your chipping in, sir. Thank you. And I'd like to thank Prakash Saigavi sir, who has driven all of us for this event. And Ajeet Shivprasad Kenneth sir has been like a knowledge bank for all Ajeets, and he helps everyone. For all these sessions that we've had, he in one or the other form he has helped each of us in organizing these events successfully. Thank you so much, sir, Kenneth sir. And my thanks to Lieutenant Commander Vivek Bankoli for hosting and being an anchor. Wonderful session. And thanks to our young Ajeets, Jagdish, Lieutenant Commander Zakir Hussain, and Nagaraj Matyal, Major Nagaraj Matyal, for introducing the key speakers today. And my Thanks are due to Sudarshan Satyaja sir, Professor Nadagoda sir, Vijay Kumar Thakur, Arjun Mutana, Maltesh Jivanavar sir, Shashidhar, Albur sir, Santosh, Umesh, Srikant Kesnur sir. Without your efforts, and we have not been, it was not possible for organizing such a beautiful event. Thank you so much. Ajeet hai, Abhit hai. Good night.
Thank you, Dinesh. Now we are at the end of the session. I'll request everybody to stand by for the national anthem. Umesh, over to you.
Sure, sir.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Vande
Mataram.
Vande
Mataram.
Vande